Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, July 19th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, Nvidia, Misty, SMCY, and PLTY. Today is also the first day I'm streaming live on both YouTube and Twitter. I'm not quite sure if the Twitter comments are going to be posted for me to see. I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work. But if one of you are on X, aka Twitter, and you guys can post a comment, maybe the same comment on both sides, let me know, because I want to see if it goes through. Because if not, I might have to leave. Oh, okay. There it is. All right, so never mind. I can see it. It shows the X. All right, sweet. All right. Shout out to Wolf Financial, by the way. They have a huge following on X, and they told me about how to do that on StreamYard, which is awesome, man. Awesome. All right. So before we get started, I mentioned towards the end of yesterday's video. By the way, I assume the audio sounds good. But I mentioned towards the end of the video, once I hit 40,000 subscribers, right now I'm at 34,531. But if I hit 40,000, I will add Hoey or HOOY to the coverage. The high level, of course, not like Misty coverage, but like TSLY in them. So if you guys want to help me hit that 40K, let's do it, man. And then Hoey will be a part of the family. Welcome everyone who's here, by the way. Question from X. No, this is live. I am streaming on both YouTube and X. First time. Thank you for confirming audio on X. Sweet. All right. So far so good, man. Let's get to it. Okay. So right now, let me close this window real quick. Right now, we're just going to go through the trades. Who had trades yesterday? This is the big old file, the big old download, intraday trade file from YieldMax. Obviously, it looks a little different from what it will look like for you. But who had trades? Everyone had trades. But we're going to go head on down to Misty, right? Good old Misty Mafia in the house. If you're in the Misty Mafia, let me know. All right, let it be heard. All right. So what did they do? Well, they did a whole bunch of stuff. Mr. Scott over there was super busy, closing out some trades, rolling them into next week, and this, that, and the other thing. But you know what worked out for me? They kind of closed it out the way they opened it. So I have to say, I had a pretty easy day plugging in these trades yesterday. So I was a very happy camper. All in all, if you're curious, they made $34 million yesterday on all of the trades, right? By closing out the old trades for essentially chump change and opening up new trades for, getting a credit. And obviously, we'll see how they go for next week. All right, but we will get to the Misty file and then go from there. So again, we are on X and YouTube. So this is a new territory for me, which is pretty cool, actually, that you could easily do that. So thank you, StreamYard, by the way. I always complain expensive, but I guess you do more than I even, know that you do. All right, anyway, let's get to it. So they added to the synthetic. So I want to make sure I cover that real quick. I don't want to skip over that because we did have a purple alert. So if you go here, you'll see put mentioned. Buy, call, sell, put. All right, 2,000 contracts. So what does that mean? New money. New money's in the door. And they added to the 395 that expires on September 19th. So as many of you know, they have 5 synthetic positions. So, hey, pick one, anyone, man, right? I think they chose the 390. Where is it? Or did they choose the 395? Let me go back real quick. Yeah, 395. Yeah, which makes sense. Obviously, that's the highest strike price, and MSTR is well above all of these strike prices. So they added 2,000 contracts to that, and it cost them a pretty penny, right? It cost them about $7 mil to add to that position because they're already ahead, right? When you buy a call essentially in the money like that, it's not going to be cheap. So MSTR price we see is at 423. So obviously that's why we had to pay that pretty penny with a strike of 395. So anyway, that's the update as far as the synthetic goes. Again, my voice, keeping it a little lower than usual as the 3-year-old is sleeping just above me at the moment. The 9-year-old has been up though since like 5 a.m. with me. But yeah, anyway, so how did MSTR do yesterday? Let's take a look. We're going to go over here now. Oh, here we go. All right, so yeah, rough day for MSTR holders. But again, man, that thing's been booming. What do you want? We needed to chillax. It's surprising though, Trump signed that crypto bill supposedly, right? And then we went down. But maybe it was somewhat of a letdown. I don't freaking know. Whatever, man, right? Whatever. But MSTR went down 6.23%. And then MSTY went down 5.04%. So obviously it did not go down as much because, as you know, covered call fund, typically beating the underlying on the downside. So they closed out a lot of trades, right? So that's why you guys are here. You want to know, did we make bank, bro? That's the biggest question here. Oh, sorry, I didn't talk about the IV. Let me cover that real quick. So I don't know if you guys remember, we mentioned the IV change from yesterday, a big drop, right? From 52 to 47. But today, woohoo, 54. Oh, yeah. That is a, 7% increase? I think they got earnings coming up. Does anyone in the chat know when earnings is? If you do, please let me know, and I'll pull it up on the screen. All right, so anyone buying Misty? Yeah, I bought. Well, I didn't buy. Again, I don't buy and sell things. I sell puts or sell calls. So I did sell a put in the money on Misty yesterday. Expiration date of Friday, of course. So if I get assigned, I get the distribution for the following week. But I can cover that in the options. Anyway, let me focus here. So again, anything that was open that was, as of yesterday, was expiring yesterday, right? 7/18. So, and then you look at these closing prices. They basically paid chump change. Is this an old one? I don't think oh crap, I didn't gray out the old ones. All right, the old ones are the large amounts. So just focus on the ones that essentially cost under $1. Like this bunch up here, you could see overall, they made about 7.3 mil, net profit. That's profit, baby. Profit. Okay, we got all right, so MSTR earnings is July 31st. All right, so that's not next week. It should be the week after. So thank you for that. All right, and let's get moving. Again, sorry for not graying out this crap. I got to ignore the losses here because every single trade yesterday was a win. So here's a bunch too. Again, they're paying 15 cents. Look at this, 15 cents to close it. And we got a 408 credit. So obviously, MSTR going down yesterday was kind of a blessing, right? It was kind of a blessing because it helped us win all of our covered calls and pay literally almost nothing to close them. So they made about 2.8 million in this batch. If we scroll down further here, there's a whole bunch. We'll ignore that 970. Let me scroll a little. So all of these here, look at 455, right? Again, keeping in mind MSTR closed at 423, right? So look at these strikes, 455, 450. All of these are above, well above MSTR. So if you highlight this, wow, there's a lot in a row. I mean, but like I said, they closed them out as they opened them. That's why yesterday I didn't complain. So look at this whole batch here, $38 million. That's a net profit win on all of those covered call trades. Again, the premium we got last week when we opened these trades or whenever they opened them, they could have opened some this week. But that's how much we made on all of those positions, which is nice. Or as they say, bank. We just made bank, bro. All right. I want to point out this trade here. Now, again, the day before yesterday, on the 17th, they closed out a trade and they opened a new one, right? 5,365 contracts. They did a 1 DTE, essentially selling a 460, right? It was only 1.92% out of the money. However, it worked out because MSTR went down. We only paid 14 cents to close it. So in one day, this trade made 1.5 million. I did mention this on X. So for those of you that follow me on X, you already know this. So I just thought that was like, again, think of it like an highly actively managed fund. This is what we need. We need trades like this, not robotic, not like, let me roll it into next week. Okay. No. They did a 1 day to expiration trade here, and they made freaking 1.5 million. And guess what? They're using these contracts now for next week. All right. Quick trade, boom, in and out, boom. And now they're going to use those same number of contracts for next week. But yeah, as you can see, all these trades here, you know, there's a ton of them. There's a ton. We're not going to go through them. We will mention them on the holdings tab. But yeah, man, there's a lot going on. Very, very busy fund. So I love it. Now, this is why we pay them though, because we don't want to do this, right? We're not the pros here, brah. And we can't afford to sell calls on MSTR because we can't afford MSTR, right? 100 shares of MSTR, forget about it, right? Anyway, outstanding shares, they had an increase of 3.2 mil. I mean, wow. Who is the freaking whale? Any whales in here? Anyone? Don't be afraid. Feel free. Anyway, it did go up 1.26% total, so that's pretty good. All right, here's the recap. Misty, let me scroll. I assume everyone can still hear me, right? Audio is good. Holy crap, we have 440. Well, maybe that's, I think the count now that's showing, it's probably X and YouTube. So now I don't really know how many are on YouTube or how many on X. So if you guys know, let me know. I'm just curious. Misty, we're sitting at 2168 price, which is pretty damn sweet, man. Pretty sweet. MSTR price 423. 30-day IV, as we said, 54%. So I like that. Outstanding shares 256 mil. Total net income, again, we're at a loss. So, but we got a nice credit. Our loss did shrink, so now it's only at 160 mil. So we'll end it right there. So unfortunately, we cannot annualize that sucker. Okay, so we got 171 on YouTube. Thank you, Steven. So I assume the rest are from X. So apparently you get a bigger X crowd than you do on YouTube. But for those of you on X, if you type a comment on X, I will see it. Just so you guys know. Not like I'm answering questions at the moment, but so I added the value. Okay, I did it. Okay, we're good. So again, this is where we track the various funds that cover MSTR where it makes sense to. I did delete MST because again, it's kind of a different fund in a way. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Who do we got here? We got this new field here. So now this is the value. This is again, MSTR, they own 601,550 Bitcoin. Take that number, multiply it by the price of Bitcoin, which who knows how outdated this is. You get about $70.7 billion, which is the value of the total Bitcoin that MSTR own. Why do we care about this? Well, we own Misty, so we care about MSTR. So I think this is an important addition to the spreadsheet. Feel free to chime in if you disagree or if you agree, of course. All right, so again, MSTR, they had a down day. They went down 6.23%. Misty went down 5.04%. Winter, which is an inverse fund of MSTR, kind of shorts it in a way, right? It did go up 3.62%, so it's working as intended. 288 on X. Thank you, Dale, for confirming that. Okay, IMST went down 5.61%, and MS2, ouch, it went down 6.48%. MSTW, it's added to the file, so it's here. It's at the party. Now that they are launching next week. This is the Round Hill Fund. Should it be comparable to these others? Again, I don't know if it's going to be directly, comparable, but I'm thinking I should leave it on there, and I'm also thinking I should add back MST. Now that I think about this, but again, I don't want to really give myself more work, but it is what it is, man. All right, let's get to the reaction. Let's get moving, man. What is that? What do you guys think that is? That is a bank, bro. It's good day yesterday. Again, we made freaking bank, bro. Again, our synthetics are already making a crap load of money, so we can afford that little dippity doodah in order to close out our covered calls for cheap, man, for cheap. So yeah. All right. Anyway, Group D declares on July 30th, so stay tuned for that, Chico. All right. So here we go. Synthetic income. What is it worth? Again, this is the realized income, the cashed out synthetic income. They made about 193 mil. Weekly income, again, that's a loss of 160 mil. So now we have a profit of 33.3 mil in net income. That comes to about 13 cents per share. So if we scroll down here now, we go to what they call the Radameda. We look at the weekly income. Again, we're at a loss, so we can't look at that. That's not going to help us figure out the guesstimate. We go to the total net income, and we get 13 cents. That's obviously not happening, or else we'd all cry the blues. So now we're just going to use the IV and the gains. The gains, bruh, which, by the way, I got to get my ass to the gym as soon as I'm done going live. But since it is the freaking weekend and there's no work, thank God. Sorry, I'm taking sips of coffee as we go. All right. So anyway, the IV being 54%, if you multiply that by the price of MSTY and divide it by 13 payments per year, you get 91 cents. The gains, again, this represents the price change from, as of the close yesterday, minus the start of the week on the Monday when we started the new 4-week cycle, and it did go up $1.74 per share. So if they paid that, it would be a 104% yield. So honestly, that's a possibility. I'm not going to say that's what they're paying, but that could be a possibility, $1.74. So yeah, I mean, that would be awesome, actually, because again, the last payment was $1.23. So again, we're not guesstimating Misty today. That's for next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday. But that's going to be, again, a fun time. That's always the funnest video of the guesstimate party. All right, so now we go to the Misty holdings. Again, this is just a download of Misty and their holdings, all of it, right? We got what? We got synthetics at the top. Again, the puts are at the top because it's kind of sorted by, well, I don't know what it's sorted by, to be honest. I was going to say negative column here, but maybe it's the... who cares, honestly. All right, but whatever. The puts always landed at the top, and then they got some treasuries, and then they got the weekly calls in between, and then they got the buy calls at the bottom. But whatever. But if we look at the puts, obviously, if these were in a bad spot and they were not making money, right? Because that's the price. This is the price it costs to close out the put, which is 260 mil. On a normal fund, you'd be like, oh my God, that's a gold digger. But it's not a gold digger. Right? Why? Because the dudes down here in orange, they're worth 735 mil. So they can afford their ladies. So we're not singing gold digger today, unfortunately. I would love to for the X crowd. So if one of the other funds, they approach the gold digger status, get ready because I may sing, but not for Misty. All right. So these are the trades for next week. Again, if you look at the QSIP column, that has the expiration date. If you're curious, when do these expire? Well, next week. They do weekly trades, right? They go 1 week out. They're not going to go out 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. They're always going to go up to the next week. All right. So anyway, what kind of strikes we got for next week? I like them. I like them a lot. We got a 450. That is the lowest strike. It's 6.33% out of the money. Actually, I didn't even look at these until now. And then we got a 475. Is the highest strike price. That is 12.23% out of the money. So these are what they call scattered. So they are scattered all over the place, and we are ready. Are you ready? All right. So again, great spot for next week. Can't wait. All right. So now we scroll down here. What's this mess here? Well, in red and light red, we have all of the synthetics and how much they are worth per share. So if you're curious what our synthetics are worth on the paper, I'll highlight them for you, and they are worth $1.85 per share, which is, again, nice. It's very nice, actually. Are they going to cash these out next week? We don't know. They could. They don't have to, right? Because, again, the earliest expiration is 8/15. So hopefully that helps. By the way, I am, again, peeking at the chat. So if you guys have questions related to the current content at hand, I will try to address it. If not, if you want to wait to the end of the video, of course, I'll address any questions then. And well, anyway, we'll go. Let's keep going. The value of Misty is 5.5 bill. The NAV is 21.51, and the trade price is 21.68, 17 cents off. What's up with that? What's up with that? Anyway, synthetic contracts, it totals to be 130,415. And guess what, guys? We are only selling covered calls on 75% of the position. So if so not only are we kind of further out of the money, right? On all of our calls, we have 25% uncapped. Or they could just, they could add more calls next week on that other 25%, so they could play around, which is pretty cool. All right, let's move on to your boy IMST. Misty coverage is over. We're moving on to IMST. Competitor. Oh, no. Oh, no. So what are they doing? Well, again, they got a synthetic position. They do the same thing as freaking Misty over here. But they sell calls and they don't do the weekly. Like they sometimes do, but look at this. Look at the expiration date. It expires on August 15th. They said, screw this weekly crap. I'm going out a month. And that way I could sell them way out of the money. Look at that. 12, 18, 19, 20% out of the money they are. They got the $500 strike prices up in here. So again, this could be a good move. You don't know. We'll see how it goes. But if MSTR kind of trades flat the whole time, obviously, then it's not going to be that worth it. But hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. Let me scroll down a little further. They're selling calls on about 65% of the position, and the fund is worth about 79 mil. The NAV sits at 52.76, price 52.86, so whatever, close enough. And next declaration should be next week on the 24th. So stay tuned for that. All right. So up next is your boy MS2 or MSII, if you're curious. What are they doing? Well, at least the freaking holdings come up now. Again, usually on the weekend they don't. So they got a synthetic buy call, sell put. Great. 393 contracts, and they sell calls on half of it. They got one strike, and it's 8.78% out of the money, and it expires next Friday. Again, here's kind of see, this is just to double check, make sure they're doing 50% as per their website and prospectus, and they are. And they are a $14 million fund. This, again, the outstanding shares and NAV calc never seems to work out for them because I don't think they're updating their outstanding shares. But again, rec shares, add outstanding shares to your holdings, download, please, and then I can cover this a little easier. Anyway, let's keep going. Since it's Saturday, I will talk about MS2. I'm sorry, MST. Again, this is like more of a degenerate play, I would say. They have swaps, and they have swaps because, again, this is like a leveraged fund. So they move, 1.5 to 2x what MSTR does. I think that's what it says. And they sell calls on some of it, right? So you could see here they're buying calls on these positions. But actually, if you look, these calls, although this one's super low, right? This is only, this is a big holding, 2,140. If you look down here, they're selling calls, 725 expiration. But here they're buying calls 725. So it looks like they're doing credit call spreads up in here now, in case these positions get cappity doodah, but these are pretty far out of the 4, 6, and 11% out of the money. So again, I don't remember them doing that, but we haven't covered them for a while. Looks like they're trading like 60% of the calls, the long calls they have covered calls on. Looked at the price though; it's down to 1864. So ouchie on that. And they did pay they did declare. Well, they do weekly. This week they declared 35 cents, and that ended up yielding 103%. Well, that's pretty damn nice, isn't it? So that's it. That's the update on MSTR funds, Misty, and all the other degenerates. All right, now we're going to move on to TSLY. And we're going to find it on here. Man, you guys love Ulti, huh? You guys love Ulti. But yes, my opinion is I love Ulti too. I just don't cover it because it's insanity. I mean, have you seen the trades? By the way, go check out ETF Inspector. He covers Ulti, so he deserves a subscription, a follow on X. So if you're here, ETF Inspector, share your stuff, man, so people can find you. But he covers Ulti. But I do love Ulti. I would love to cover it periodically. I know it's been a while. It has been a while. But I will cover it, of course, when they, each Sunday I cover it in little detail when we go over the guesstimates. But yeah, I'm a big Ulti fan. All right, so let me keep going, guys. All right, so here's TSLY. By the close, 539. Damn, they just got whooped. Again, the strike price was 325, and the stock price is 329. Yuck, yuckity duck. And here's the 327.50, paid 296. Again, I don't know what time, and it looks like a loss. Here's the 320 got whooped, 909 per share, 1032. Yeah, unfortunately, TSLY looks like they lost their trades for the day, and then they rolled those suckers into next week. Yeah, ouch. I don't think I had any. Oh, wait, here's one. Here's a 330. Nice. They paid 39 cents for that, so not bad. So all in all, they lost 6.6 million for the day. All right, let's go to the file. Again, for anyone new, since I am on X for the first time live on X, what I do is I cover Misty in very detailed fashion, and then I cover these other plays, starting with TSLY. I cover TSLY, Nvidia, CONY, SMCY, and PLTY in a higher level. So in case you're wondering why it's a little different. All right, so yesterday, how did Tesla do? Tesla had a really good day. It went up 3.11%. TSLY, unfortunately, only captured 1.99%, which comes to about a 64% capture, which, again, that's not the capture we want. I always say 80% is the sweet spot, so we're not in the sweet spot. All right, let's look at the trades for next week. Again, everything expires on the Friday, 7/25. Are they all out of the money at least? Yep, yippity-doo-dah. So their lowest strike is 345, 4.66% out of the money, and their highest strike is 357.50, which is 8.45% out of the money. So again, that's a pretty decent setup. However, that would be for a normal week. You know what next week is? It's freaking earnings. What's going to happen on earnings, man? Who the hell knows? Who in the hell knows? So we could get blown through bad, but at least we do have the crazy call spreads, the butt buddies, as they say, the insurance plays down here. They are there to protect them in case we get cappity doo-dah. I think typically their earnings falls on a Wednesday. So I'm guessing it's a Wednesday. I don't know, but feel free to, if anyone in here, I rely on you guys for a lot, I know. If you're in here and you know that, feel free to let me know or let the crowd know. But yeah, it's earnings, man. So I would say, yeah, great position to be in, but with earnings, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? All right, so synthetic-wise, they got a 290 and a 295, which, they're really in a great spot because Tesla's at 329. So obviously these synthetics are worth bankity-doo-dah, bro. All right, the value of TSLY is 1.1 billion. The NAV is 804, trade price 803. Synthetic on the paper is worth about 151 million. That comes to $1.02 per share. So that's very nice. 30-day IV, which again, I'm looking at this, man, it should be higher. Thank you, MJ Bowhunter from YouTube. So earnings, he is Wednesday the 23rd. Okay, so let's stay tuned for that. All right, so anyway, the IV estimate based on 54% IV is 34 cents. Ew, yuck. And the income estimate is $1.18. So again, it's a little ugly, but they're Group A and they got 18 days till declaration. So let's stay tuned for that, guys. All right. Up next, your boy Nvidia. So you Nvidia nerds, get ready. We're going to talk about your favorite chippity doo-dah company. Now let's go right here. If I can click anything, everything's like stuttering here today. Let's find Nvidia. Let's see. Did Nvidia have trades? Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. All right. Buy to close 8 cents. Ooh, wow. Look at that. 172.50 strike, and they closed at one. Wow. Wow. That's almost look at the gap. 9 cent difference. The strike price is 9 cents over the closing price. They paid 8 cents. So did they really wait until 359 to roll this sucker? Holy crap. Maybe. I doubt it. But that's pretty damn close. 7 cents on that one, 5 cents on that one, 4 cents on that one, 5 cents on that one. And the reason I say that, again, if they're paying essentially the gap in between the two prices, then there's no time value left. So it would have to have been really close to the end of the day, man, which is that's impressive. Although I wouldn't recommend it because sometimes they just don't go through. All right, so overall though, man, Nvidia made some bank yesterday. They made about 5.3 mil in realized income. So yeah. All right, let's go to the tab here. How did Nvidia do yesterday? They went down, but they just went down a little bit. And this turned out to be actually perfect. They went down 0.34%. Nvidia, they went down 0.24%, which is obviously less. So good job. Perfect day. Perfect. Now, if you look here, they have something that expires 7/18. All right. Now, this is a buy call, as they say. So they just they couldn't get any money for it. It says it's worth a penny, but it ain't worth a freaking penny. No one wants this crap, right? What does it say? 180? Yeah. Who's going to pay a penny for a 180 call that expires on the same day and Nvidia's at 172? No one. So they didn't get a penny. So they had to let it expire worthless, which is fine. We don't care, but that's why it's here. I just want to let you know. And that's why it's shaded a different color. Wow, 500 people on X. I guess X has more people, man. I wonder if any YouTubers are watching me now on X. This may screw up my my YouTube views, but anyway, I think it's good to post this crap. But anyway, let's look at the Nvidia trades for next week. Oh, a little tight. Again, I have no idea when their earnings is, but it's coffee break. All right, here we go. Only 3 strikes. They have at 175, 1.5% out of the money. And they also go up to 180, which is 4.4% of the money. So they could be easily cappity doodah. I know they had some recent good news with China and all that. So maybe that's already settled in. Maybe they'll trade a little flat next week. I don't know. But whatever, we'll see. We'll see. We're not trying to play the guessing game over here. We just sit, relax, and chill. We make money off the IV. All right, so how's their synthetics doing? They got a 165 and then a 170. Nvidia's at 172, so they're doing all right. But I think, as you may recall, they cashed out some of them suckers already. So that's why they're, making only just a little bit. In fact, they're making about 62 cents per share, that's still not bad, man. All right, look at Nvidia. It's approaching $2 billion. In case you haven't noticed, it's worth the market value, the NAV, the whatever, the OM, as they say, is worth 1.8 freaking billion. Holy crap. The NAV on that is 1689 trade price. They closed at just the same, so that's good. 30-day IV, 33%. IV estimate based on that, 44 cents. Now check out this income estimate. Again, this is based on how much they actually made, they realized income during this 4-week cycle that we're in, which, by the way, it just freaking started last week. So this is 5 days. They made $2.62 per share already. If they paid that, that's a 201% yield. They're not paying that, but I'm just saying that's pretty cool though. Anyway, Group B declares in 25 days on August 13th. So we got time is on my side. Yes, it is. All right, let's go to CONY. And you know what CONY does. So if you like CONY, you are a CONY head. I know you may not know it, but you are. And you wear a cone head or you have a cone head and you speak like this. All right, anyway, let's see if they had trades. I expect only in the comments now because we don't speak normally as CONY heads. You guys know that. Anyway, let's go to CONY. Where we at? Got a lot of trades, man. Sorry, I can't go through all the other trades. But that's why we have the ETF inspector. If you're wondering about, some of these other funds, especially the OTs and the other ones, you got to go check him out. There you go, Richard. Richard knows what's up. This is how we talk when we cover CONY. We don't speak any other way. All right. Oh my God, what the heck did CONY do? Buy to close 260, strike price 419. How is the hell is that so high? I guess the coin go down anyway. Buy to close put. All right, so they're closing out their 390 synthetic, or at least some of it. Oh, that was a forced closure. That expired next week. Okay, so someone sold out of the fund. All right, whatever. Buy to close 120. This is a tight one. Maybe that was a win. Maybe not. I don't know what the credit was. That was probably a win, actually. Buy to close put here. All right, so they're cashing out this and another part of the synthetic. All right, okay, and they closed the call here. So people selling out of CONY. Look, 1,400 gone, 1,500 gone. All right, so that's just removing from the synthetic, and you don't see them adding, like rolling to a new synthetic positions, which typically means it's just fun. It means money left the fund, so they had to close out some positions. All right, buy to close call. Good Lord. Oh my goodness, they got whooped on that one. $27.55 per share, $11 million. Ow, man. 16.25. Yeah. Wait. How it's from 419? How the heck? Coin must have dumped later in the day, I'm guessing. Oh my God. Oh my God. That they got destroyed. Holy crap. They lost $29.5 million yesterday. So if you're a CONY head, all right. So let's go take a look. I assume they went down. Let's see. Oh my God, they went up. How in the hell? I don't know what happened, but whatevs. It shows to be up. They went up 2.15%. CONY. CONY got this. What in the actual hell? That is weird. Is that right? There's no way. All right? There's no way. Coin went up 2.15%. CONY 0.1. Really? Really, bruh? Wow. Wow. I have to say I haven't seen an ass whooping like that in a long time. So I'm just going to scroll over here and pretend I didn't see that. Ow. But yeah, you should be nan everywhere. Oof. Ooh-wee. Anyway, let's look at the calls for next week. 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so we are at least scattered-y-dooed out for next week. Lowest strike price, 440, 4% out of the money. Highest strike price, 470, 11% out of the money. But damn, man. Damn, that CONY. What the heck happened? All right, anyway, let's look at their synthetic. They got a 390 synthetic. Coin is at 419, so their synthetic is super valuable. Let me delete this gibberish over here. And let's scroll down. And let's go. All right, so the value of CONY, in case you're wondering, which some of you are, some of you don't give a crap, they are worth 1.4 bill. The NAV is 1028, trade price 1032. Synthetic value on the paper is worth about 107 mil, which comes to 77 cents per share. 30-day IV, I don't know why, but it's airing out. But who cares? We'll get it. We'll get it another day. And income estimate showing to be, okay, dump. Yes, it dumped late. Okay, so I guess that makes sense. So coin was probably really, up high, and that's why they got their butts kicked closing out those calls when they did, and then it went down. All right, so and that's a very unfortunate timing. Hey, it is what it is, man. Income estimate though, they got a $1.33 already. So that if they paid out $1.33, that is a 167% yield. Oh yeah, by the way, Group C declares in 4 days. So CONY should be part of that tomorrow. So stay tuned. Again, 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. Guess what? Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. All right, and then we'll guess what CONY's going to pay for fun and entertainment, of course. That's why we're here. It's all fun, man. Don't be so serious, bro. Just have fun. All right. Anyway, SMCY, how you doing? Well, let's see. Do they have trades? Of course. I'm sure. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. All right. Yep, they did. Let's see. Not too many. Barely fits in the screen. All right. Let's just see what they did. Buy to close. 4 cents. Okay, that's a win. Check. Buy to close, 9 cents. That's a win. Check. Buy to close, 8 cents. That's a win. Buy to close, 6 cents. That's a win. Buy to close, 6 cents. That's a win. So, in the moral of the story for the SMCI suckers, they made 2.1 mil yesterday. Yeah. So it was a really good day for SMCY holders. Yeah, again, I said it. I mentioned yesterday. SMCY is one of the most unappreciated funds because your boy, the underlying SMCI, man, I'm jumping ahead here, but look at that freaking IV, 73%. You don't see that. You don't even see that in MSTR anymore. So where do you get it? You get it from here, the SMCY suckers. All right. Anyway, how did SMCI do yesterday? It went down to went down 1.89%. SMCY went down 1.3%. So, hey, not a bad day. Again, going down the Friday, it's especially if we need to win our trades. Looks like they left something open here, right? Again, just like the other one, I think it was a Misty that had this too. It was a 57 call, long call, buy call, right? And yeah, no one's paying you. No one's paying you that penny. So what do? They just got to leave it and let it expire. And it's going to sit there. It's going to drop off. And when we get our new holdings download on the Monday night. Okay, great. Now let's look at the covered calls for next week. 6, 8, and 12% out of the money. 3 strike prices. So 55, 56, 58. We'll see if they can hold up. Now, if we check out the synthetic over here now, we got a 45, SMCI sitting at 51. So very good spot for that. So we like it like that. All right. What's it worth? It's worth about 39 mil or 277 per share. Now, if we go over here, again, why do I say it's underrated? Look at the freaking ARM. The ARM is under 300 mil as compared to some of these others, man. That's low. That's low. I mean, it's not low, but you get what I'm saying. Compared to the others, it's super low. All right. All right, let's get moving. The NAV is 2078, trade price 2082, 4-cent gap. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. All right, 30-day IV, as we said, is a sweet ass 73%. IV estimate based on that $1.17. Income estimate negative, unfortunately, but they're part of Group D. They got some time. They got 11 days until July 30th. Again, that's a big holiday for everyone. The Group D declaration. Wow, we got 957 people between the two platforms. That's pretty impressive. So thank you all for joining. All right, guess who's next, guys? Guess who's next? Next again. PLTY's next. Tell a friend. Guess who's next? Guess who's next? Guess who's next? Guess who's next? All right, anyway. Let's go over here. All right, we got PLTY. What are they doing? Well, let's see. Buy to close put. All right. So they're closing out a synthetic and they're closing out a call. All right. So it looks like people said, I'm selling out of the fund. And they sold out of the fund. So that means you had to sell some of the synthetic. And guess what? They made some bank in the process because they're in a good spot on their synthetic. They did lose on the call for sure. They made lost about 1.2 mil, but they did make 2,000 on the call. But anyway, for the day, 5.2 mil net income. So that's good. That's good stuff right there. All right. So Palantir, how you doing? Well, you went down 0.31%. PLTY went down 0.31%. So they matched. They're like twins. We don't want that to happen, though, of course, on a down day. Normally, they almost always beat the underlying. But, hey, whatever. I won't judge because they did make some income yesterday. Now, this is going to get ugly over here. What the heck is going on? They got 2 strike prices. This thing is barely out of the money. This is the highest strike. We in trouble next week. Hopefully Palantir don't have earnings. If it does, yikes. Yikes. Oh wow. That's funny. I see LA Appliance now watching on X. Is it the same thing? LA Appliance? What's different? I don't know. Again, for those of you just joining in, I'm streaming on YouTube and X. I didn't realize I could do that through hitting just one button on StreamYard. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. So yeah, I'll do that going forward anytime I go live. All right. All right. Anyway, so let's go over here. All right. So anyway, we have 2 strikes for next week. And it's not pretty. So Palantir just trade sideways next week. All right. Let's take a look at their synthetic though, which again is always going to make money, right? If it goes up, if Palantir goes up, we're going to make money on the synthetic. The synthetic sits at a 140 strike, which is a great spot because Palantir is at 153 per share. Scroll down here. The synthetic is actually worth 66.1 million. And again, this is on paper. Thank you for man, MJ Bone Hunter, man. He's my boy with the earnings. I like it. But yeah, Palantir earnings August 4th. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so this synthetic on paper, again, this is just what it's worth right now. Not saying they cash it out or anything. It's just sitting in the holdings. It's worth $6.39 per share. That's good. That's really good. PLTY fund is 696 mil assets under management. The NAV is 67.26, and they closed at 67.12, 14-cent gap. Hey, but whatever. 30-day IV, again, something's going on right now with the Google Sheets calc, and it's not working. But as we always say, whatever. Income estimate sits at 93 cents, and Group B declares, I mean, they got a lot of time. They got 25 days until their next expiration. Okay. Now, the question for you guys is, and, you know, I'll do what majority says. Do you want me to go through the trades on the other funds, or do you want me to just go head over to my options trades and then we'll go, you know, take requests or Q&A after that? Right now we hit 1,000. We're at 1,021. That is freaking amazing. Wow. What do you guys think? Do you want to go through like the trade download and cover any, you know, all the other funds and see how they did? Or do you want me to just head on over to my options trades and go from there? Yeah, I know you guys want to see Hoey. Believe me, I'm just gonna look at it. But if you really want me to cover Hoey daily, scoreless Steve, it's got to happen at 40K subs. All right, so everyone's just saying Hoey, so I'm just gonna go over to Hoey. Actually, no, I'll cover the trade. I'll just cover the Hoey trades, and then we'll go to Hoey. All right, how's that sound? Let's go. Let's see. Wow, Netflix had a lot of trades too. Don't get dizzy, guys. Don't get dizzy. All right, someone said trades on X. Tim said trades. But first, I'll cover Hoey. Oh, Hoey. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-wee. All right, what'd they do? By the close, 693. Yuck. They lost that trade, 606. Ooh, they got their butts kicked yesterday. It looks like they got blown through on their strikes, and they lost about 1.6 mil at the Hoey house. The Hoey house. All right. So again, we gotta come up with a nickname for the Hoey holders. Something, you know, I don't know, something catchy and something not too mean, right? I know some of you had some creative ones, but again, we are kind of a family-friendly channel, I think, maybe. I know some people watch with their kids in the car, so always got to keep that in mind. All right, so we are over here at the Hoey party. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, see, Scoreless Steve knows what's up. He said, you guys got to subscribe. And we got to hit 40K. Imagine 40,000 subscribers for someone who records in a garage. That's not normal. That's not normal in YouTube space. All right, so again, we're going to update the formula here. It's got to pick up cells 17 and 18. Okay, so our synthetic on the paper is worth $30 million. $30 million. Oh my God, 30 million. Outstanding shares, 1.5 mil. How much does that come to per share? A ridiculous 1970. Oh my God. I mean, that is beyond ridiculous, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's just insane. Insane in the membrane. All right. Any other funds you want me to cover their trades and look at the holdings, or are we good? Are we good now? Yeah, join the wolf pack. It's not like you get anything extra, but it's just to really support the channel. And sometimes I throw in a random video here and there, or early releases. Any other funds you want me to go through, or maybe I'll just get to my options and we'll come back. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm just going to go to my options and then we'll come back. All right, real quick, I want to update you guys on some of my options trades. Again, we add options. You guys, of course, you want Alti. You all want Alti. I decided, you know what? I got 500 shares of Misty in this account. What's another 100? So I sold a put for an expiration date of July 25th. Of course, I have to log down what the next ex-dividend date is for Alti, which is 7/31. So if I'm selling a put, I'm gonna make for damn sure that this contract will expire before the ex-dividend date. Okay, so obviously 7/25 expires before 7/31. So I sold a put with a strike price 0.36% in the money. I did a 22. Misty was at 21.92. What did it close at? Let's see. 21.68. Okay, that's okay. So again, we're now 1.48% in the money. So I actually should have waited. But whatever, man, whatever. What did it pay me though? It paid me 42 cents per share. $42 to buy Misty. Again, this is 40. I got paid $42 to buy 100 shares of Misty. Am I buying it? I don't know. Again, Misty would have to stay below the 22 for this to get assigned, and then I'll buy 100 shares at 22. But if Misty goes above 22 by next Friday, then I'm just going to get my collateral of $2,200 back. Make sense? All right. So that's why I don't buy shares even on these funds. I sell puts. That's how I buy the shares. Because you know what? You know, you want me to buy shares? You pay me. You want me to sell shares? You pay me. And that's kind of how it works. So I am an options only person now. I don't do buys. Sorry, I have to correct that. So I do buy the weeklies but even that I should not do. I should sell puts on those as well, which again, everything's going to be an option going forward. So anyway, I made 42 bucks on that. So not bad. I think so. Maybe you guys disagree, but not too bad. All right, let's look at TSLY. I only had 2 contracts expiring yesterday. I had a $13 call and a $12.50 call, and TSLY closed at $12.40, just under $12.50. So guess what, guys? Both of these expired worthless, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. So perfect scenario. Then in the process, since Tesla was up yesterday, I sold a call into next week. $15 strike, 21% out of the money. The delta was under 0.2, so it was a 0.17, and that paid me 20 cents per share, or $20, and that yielded me 84%. So all in all, for the week, again, weekly recap, I made $298 from TSLL. Shout out to the TSLL community on X that I had created. Now the number of shares I still own on TSLL is 700. The number of covered calls is 300. So I have 400 that are uncovered. So yeah, if TSLL goes up heading into earnings, I'll sell calls on all these 400 over earnings. I really don't care. We ain't scared of earnings, right? So let's let's wait for that. Let's wait on how it opens Monday. Obviously, if it opens Monday down, then we could sell puts. But, you know, either or. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. All right, so here's TNA Dynamite. All right, so I had 3 contracts expiring yesterday. 2 calls, 37 and a 39, if you guys can see the screen at least. Now, this, again, was a close one. TNA closed at 36.25, similar to TSLL. Again, I had another close one. And guess what? Still expired worthless. So again, perfect scenario. Got my shares, or kept my shares, and what a beauty. And then, of course, I had a put, a $34 strike. Since TNA closed above that, that also expired worthless as well, which I did not update. So I will click this drop down. And yeah, expired worthless. So I made only $93 on TNA this week, but that's okay because I did hit my weekly income. And again, my weekly income is $389, right? Yeah, I made $433 for the week. So I made $44 more than I needed to, which is good. And so far, again, I'm up. I made more every week than I needed to for my options trades. So yeah. And again, we got one more week for July and I'll hit my goal. And again, why is this the goal? Real quick, I'll just do a quick recap and then we'll end the options coverage. So basically this account, which is I call the retire now account, which I'm supposed to retire now, but obviously it's not working yet. I decided to have my accounts, not just this account, but another account too, pay my bills. And this account, its job is to make income and pay the mortgage. So basically I have a certain goal, and obviously Misty paid me. So Misty already paid me for the month of July. So I take my goal, subtract out Misty, and my options goal, I have to make $1,554 in options premium for the month of July. And if you divide that by 4, obviously it's around 4 weeks each month, $389. So I need to make $389 per week in order to meet my goal, which obviously, yes, pays the mortgage, which is only $1,300. But the overall goal, if you're curious, is on this spreadsheet, which is $2,173, which is, again, very, very attainable. So I'm not worried about that at all. In fact, if we go here, I know this is only weekly. If we highlight these 3 numbers, we're at 1,294. Oh, that's without the Misty payment, of course. So we're at what, 1,300 plus, around that. So we got like 1,900 or so, and we got to make what? So about like $300. So obviously, if I hit my 389 goal next week, we're good. We're good for the month, and that's it. That's it. Nothing too crazy. It's a 50% yield goal, annualized, of course, and yeah, that's it. So that's the update on my options trades. I'm gonna head over back to the YieldMax degenerates coverage, and I'm gonna take some Q&A. Sorry, I had to sneeze. All right. So right now, again, we are streaming on both YouTube and X. This is the first time I'm ever live on X. But if you guys have questions on either, they are coming up here. I believe they're all coming up, and I will address them. If you want me to cover a certain fund real quick, I can. I'm really just going to cover if they're making money on the synthetic, and I'll cover their trades for yesterday. Let me just see through the comments what I missed. See, unfortunately, I'm looking at 2 different conversations here. There's a lot of people, man. Awesome. All right. X is your jam. Yeah, I mean, I've had it for a long time, right? I've had X forever, and I just never. In fact, I really just used it to post YouTube, and then obviously that did me no favors. So it I'm gonna show the equal love to YouTube and X going forward. And obviously I'll start streaming on both. All right. You guys want me to cover any other funds, or should we just end it? We're at an hour, which is typical length of these videos lately. I know some people complain that it's too long. I saw someone say AMSI. Did someone want to say, AMZ covered? Well, I don't have anything on NVYY to compare it to, so I would not do that any justice. Cover Maro. Okay, I could do that. All right, so let's see if Maro had trades. Maro. All right. So again, Maro is the covered call ETF for Mara. Buy to close 6 cents. All right, looks like they won that trade. Sell call, buy to close. Okay, so again, ignore the red. That's there from the previous days. Buy to close 40 cents. Looks like they won that trade, but barely. Buy to close 2 cents. So overall, Maro made 351,000 yesterday. Again, trades were close, but who cares? It looks like they won. Now, if I go here, we can look at the holdings download. You can find it. Here it is. And we could see, again, what I like to do is look at this synthetic and to see, like, are we on the up and up? Is it making some bank a bra? I should add, look at the calls too. Maybe I'll do that for like a future video. See what the covered call percentages are. All right, so Maro is the fund is worth 121 mil, if you're curious. We don't care about decimals, so we can get rid of those. All right. Maro is worth 20. Look at the prices. They're so close to each other. But either way, let me update the synthetic formula. This is going to pick up H15. All right, so their synthetic, wow, it's worth 11.7 million. They have outstanding shares of 6 million, and that comes to $1.95 per share on paper. You know what? It is good to see, Maro performing well, because it's been in the crapper since it launched, I feel like, and it shouldn't be. It should be a much better fund. So hopefully in due time it will be, whooping ass sooner or later. All right, so just gonna see if you guys want me to cover anything else here. If you have any questions, I'll do Q&A, obviously. If you want me to cover any other funds, we have 1,209 people between the two spots. All right, we have a question here. Why do you add a long intro before many of your videos? Sometimes they're 2 to 5 minutes long and just too much. 30 seconds is fine, but none is better. Intro. I mean, when I go live, I do a 30-second countdown. But that's the only intro. I don't have an intro, really. Like on the pre-recorded videos, there's no intro. Are you talking about commercials? I mean, I have no control over that, but that's a YouTube thing, obviously. So I don't know. What intro are you seeing? Because when I go live, you get the dark 30-second countdown, and that's the end of it. So JD Invest, I don't really know if that's what you're talking about, but it's only 30 seconds, not 2 to 5 minutes. I'm not creative enough to have an actual real introduction like some of these other fancy YouTubers. All right, so I think he's talking. Oh, the pre-market. Is that what you're talking about? The pre-market? Well, I didn't do it. I don't do it on the live, so that helps. But the reason I cover the pre-market is just to see if anything is popping out, right before we get into the funds. But I think I cover that pretty fast now. All right. All right. Question from Steele. Do you know what ratio of the is put into synthetics versus weeklies, just in general with YieldMax? Well, I know they have to stay at a certain level. I think I have that under here. Where is it? They have like a concentration rule, right? You can't spend more than 25% in options. So again, which is still kind of confusing to me, but to my knowledge, like if you add up the synthetic, it can't be more than 100 or something. I don't know. In fact, that's a question for Jay or Scott when we have them on again, which should be very, very soon. All right. So thank you for the question, Steele. All right, let me keep going. I don't have commercials. There is a countdown intro. Yeah, it's 30 seconds, JD Invest. You're that annoyed with a 30-second countdown? Come on, man. Relax. Chill. But it's not longer than 30 seconds. You know what? Sometimes I don't know. But anyway, let's see. Oh, duh. I'm sorry. You're talking about the premiere intro. Yeah. I make that 5 minutes. And the reason is sometimes the premiere, it comes up on people's alerts, like notifications, and it gives them that 5 minutes, that time to join before it comes on. But if it annoys you that much, just know that the premiere will start at 6:35 a.m. Or if you watch it later, does it come on? Actually, that's a question I don't even know the answer to. Like if you watch the recording not as a premiere, does it still do that 5 minute intro? If it does, I could see your point there. All right, so you take my money when I'm in need. Sorry, I had to do it. All right, so let's keep going. Yeah, I don't think I explained it the greatest, honestly, and I need to understand it much better. But yeah, we're gonna get someone from YieldMax to give it much more, much better justice than I can. It's just something that it's good to know, but we just, do we really care? And I know they just, it's something that matters on a quarterly basis too. So it's not like they're looking at it every day. The concentration rule. Uh-oh, now John Wilk is on it. All right, the premiere, yeah, is a 5 minute countdown. Does everyone hate the premiere countdown? Feel free to be honest. I don't care. I mean, I could cut it back. I can. Not YieldMax related, but have you checked out any of the Round Hill weekly pay lineup? No. And I know I need to, man. It's just so hard, because I cover these freaking videos daily. And if I don't, we're behind. I can't really miss a day. And I'd love to cover other funds. But, when I'm retired, I'm definitely going to cover like everyone all the time. That's the plan, at least. It does. The premiere is still ongoing. Okay, so mono's on my side, right? So again, sometimes my my videos, they come out last minute because it takes forever to upload sometimes. And but yeah, I don't know. That's why I do the 5 minute intro. Plus, a lot of people, they join the premiere. It gives them more time to chit chat, right? Beardy's wife takes his money. Do you have money, Beardy? Is there money to take? Beardy wants a 10-minute intro. Okay, when YouTube has a 10-minute option, I'll choose 10 minutes. Yeah, Amy, go check out Amy, guys. Bad Financial Decisions. She covers a lot of different funds. Not like me. I'm just all boring, same video every day, right? All right. Thoughts on comparison between similar. I know. Believe me, I want to, MJ Bowhunter. It's just there's no time. There isn't time. Okay, John. All right. So just going through the comments. I'm waiting for Round Hill to start. It starts next week, MSTW. So it's coming out. Richard likes the long intro. All right, Richard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? The countdown, it gives you time to get ready, get pumped up. Again, it's a long video, so you gotta, Gotta get ready for it. All right, do you guys want me to cover anything else YieldMax related? I'm sorry, I don't have any of the other funds up and available, or their data available. And I know you guys want me to cover other funds. I get it, but the other funds that I will add, though, will be the MSTY fund. It will be added here for sure. Good morning, Droid. You are super late if you just got here, but we do have 1,324 people between the two platforms, which is freaking amazing. Amazing. So thank you all for being here. Countdown to coffee. Yep, exactly. Pump up the jam. Pump up the jam. Pump up the jam. I also like to see where everyone is listening from. Yeah, feel free to share where you're from, guys, so everyone knows. For anyone watching on X, do you see when I pull up the various comments? Does it come up on the screen? If you're watching on X, let me know, please. Amazeballs. Can't remember his channel name, but there is a new YouTuber who buys all the weekly ETF funds now. Last count, he was up to 37 of them and makes comparisons. I mean, I buy all the weeklies too, but yeah, I don't compare them like I would love to, but I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about Eugen? Does Eugen do that? He was just here earlier, but do a retire on Hoey. The problem is Hoey is such a new fund, though. It's a little hard to cover. North Carolina, Minnesota. TC says yes. Okay, I assume that's yes to the comments. All right, that's awesome. Thank you for confirming. TC, great spaces the other day, by the way. Spencer does. Spencer, oh yeah, Spencer invests. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Spencer Invest. Go check him out. I met him in New York as well. Wisconsin, Bama. You say y'all, right? Yep, Spencer Invest. The comments show up. Yes, thank you. And Doug, the retirement guy, as well. I heard of that. I don't really know him. But hey, if you want some love, Doug Retirement, come join. And we'll talk about your YouTube. All right, which Florida, take me there, please. Please. Mount Pleasant. All right. Yeah, Doug the retirement guy. All right, I gotta check him out. There is a ton of freaking YouTubers now on the YieldMax stuff. I'm surprised they're not putting me out of business. All right. I buy the monthly funds, weekly momentum. I do. My in-laws are in Wisconsin, Hawaii. Damn. Wow. We got people from everywhere. All right. Should we end it? What do you guys think? Should we end it? Doesn't seem like anyone has any questions. So, yeah. This one snow is getting it done in Mississippi, Rod. Minnesota. Spencer invests. All right. So I think we're going to call it a day. So as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow is the guesstimate video for Group C, right? Is it Group C? Yeah, Group C. And it's going to be a fun one, man. Why do I know that? Well, if we go over here and we look at the bank that had been made from Group C, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. You're going to be like, oh, yeah. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. This is how much they made. Green means bank, bro. All right. That's what it means. Look at it. It's going to be a good video tomorrow, right? And I'm probably going to be off on the guesstimates. So don't cry about it. All right. Please, please. Are you still doing recovery raids? Yeah, I could do that tomorrow. Just remind me, R2, please. Because I forget. I forget a lot of things. All right. So I'm getting old, right? I'm getting old. All right. Yeah, definitely see you tomorrow. So, of course, if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. And if you have questions, just type them down below. Or if you have a video question, just type video question with the question. Simple. Now, we're at the end of the video. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to type in the freaking keyword. What is the keyword? Well, for the people that are live on YouTube and live on Twitter, aka X, you guys have to type in the keyword, and then that will be it. So I'll give you a second and take a sip of coffee. You got any good keywords? Preferably relevant to the content, relevant to the video. Beardy day. Wolf got nothing, but have a great day, Wolf. Beardy got nothing. No one's got nothing. Almost 1,400 people. You got nothing. Keyword for the OGs. I'm going to keyword. Bank bro. Take God. It is Sunday. Oh, thank God it's Saturday. Bank bro. Freaking Nvidia. Wolfpack. Drawing a blank. I don't know. Nothing's sticking yet. Nothing's sticking. You know, almost 1,400 people. We got nothing. Wow. We got nothing. That's all right. I got nothing too. So there's another Wolfpack. You guys like Wolfpack? Oh, remember Wolfpack from wrestling? WCW. Bank Bro. Misty Mafia. The Good, the Bad, and the Misty. All right. I guess I'm going to stick with Wolfpack, man. No one remembers the OGs. We remember you. We remember you. We see you. We see the OG. All right. So, yeah, TC's an OG, in case you guys were curious. He's been around watching this channel forever. And as much as I annoy him, and Doc, by the way, from singing and random comments and water bottles and this and that, he's hung around. So, you know, props to TC and Doc, of course. Although I don't see Doc here, so he comes in and out. And there's others. I know there's others. Steele has been here forever as well. But I'm not going to keep naming because I'm going to keep missing people. But anyway, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. You got to type down in the comments the keyword. The keyword today is very, 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 very simple. It's Wolfpack. Oh, in case you're wondering what the heck is the Wolfpack, well, there is a membership option on YouTube, and I created it for anyone who wants to support the channel further. And one of the options I created is ROD Wolfpack. So right now, you really just get, you know, it's just for support for the channel. But one day, yes, there's going to be more stuff specifically for the ROD Wolfpack on YouTube. But so yeah, if you want to support the channel, there's two options there. So it's under the video. It says join or something. I don't know, but go check it out if you want. If not, and you made it this far in the video, just type Wolfpack down below. That way I know and others know, you know, you made it. You made it. And congrats, by the way, for making it this far in the video. And by the way, thank you all 1,400 of you that are watching either through YouTube or X. That is freaking insane. And I know this video was long as hell, so thank you for those that watched the recording after. So I got to run. I got to get my ass to the gym. Hopefully you all are going there as well. If not, you know, get your ass moving, man. Get your ass moving. Go do something, right? We can't be getting too fat and unhealthy here. But anyway, I got to run. Thank you for watching. Again, type Wolfpack down below. That way we know. Type it on X or type it on YouTube. Wherever you're watching, you have to type Wolfpack. And that way we know you made it to the end of the video. I sound good. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. sharp. Later.